Sarah Plain and Tall by Patricia McLachlan. "Can you remember her songs?" asked Caleb. "Mama's songs?" I turned from the window. "No, only that she sang about flowers and birds, sometimes about the moon at night time." Caleb reached down and touched Lottie's head. "Maybe," he said, his voice low, "if you remember the songs, then I might remember her, too." My eyes widened and the tears came. Then the door opened and the wind blew in with Papa, and I went to stir the stew. Papa put his arms around me and put his nose in my hair. "Nice soapy smell, that stew," he said. I laughed. "That's my hair." "Cold in town," said Papa, and Jack was feisty. Jack was Papa's horse that he'd raised from a colt. I spooned up the stew and lighted the oil lamp, and we ate with the dogs crowding around the table, hoping for spills or handouts. Papa might not have told us about Sarah that night if Caleb hadn't asked him the question. "You don't sing any more," he said. He said it harshly, not because he meant to, but because he had been thinking of it for so long. "Why?" he asked more gently. Papa straightened up. There was a long silence, and the dogs looked up, wondering at it. "I've forgotten the old songs," said Papa quietly. He sat down. "But maybe there's a way to remember them." He looked up at us. "How?" said Caleb eagerly. Papa leaned back in the chair. "I placed an advertisement in the newspaper for help." "You mean a housekeeper?" Caleb and I looked at each other and burst out laughing. Remember Hilly, our old housekeeper? She was round and slow and shuffling, and she snored in a high whistle at night, like a tea kettle. "No," said Papa slowly, "not a housekeeper. A wife." Caleb stared at Papa. "A wife? You mean a mother?" Nick slid his face into Papa's lap, and Papa stroked his ears. "That too," said Papa. "Like Maggie. Matthew, our neighbor, went to the South, had written to ask for a wife and mother for his children, and Maggie had come from Tennessee." Papa reached to his pocket and unfolded a letter written on white paper. "And I have received an answer." Papa read to us. "Dear Mr. Jacob Whitting, I am Sarah Wheaton from Maine, as you will see from my letter. I am answering your advertisement. I have never been married, though I have been asked. I have lived with an older brother, William, who is about to be married. His wife-to-be is young and energetic. I have always loved to live by the sea, but at this time I feel a move is necessary, and the truth is, the sea is as far east as I can go. My choice, as you can see, is limited. This should not be taken as an insult. I am strong and I work hard, and I am willing to travel, but I am not mild-mannered. If you should still care to write, I would be interested in your children, about where you live, and you. Very truly yours, Sarah Elizabeth Wheaton. P.S. Do you have opinions on cats? I have one." No one spoke when Papa finished the letter. He kept looking at it in his hands, reading it to himself. Finally, I turned my head a bit to sneak a look at Caleb. He was smiling. I smiled too. "One thing," I said in the quiet room. "What's that?" asked Papa, looking up. I put my arm around Caleb. "Ask her if she sings," I said. That was just the first chapter of Sarah Plain and Tall. To read more about it, please pick it up at your local library. It is a Newbery Award medal book. Skylark is the sequel to Sarah Plain and Tall and is just as interesting as the first.